Hi, I'm Catherin, and this is Natasha Lee. And we wanted to talk a mystic or modern mystic conversation about modern mysticism and how it is for us. This is what the conversations are about. They're just our own opinions and our own journeys to share with you. And hopefully, there's some inspiration and understanding and entertainment. So, Natasha, the subject we want to go with or is colour and rainbow. They're the words. And how that has played a role or not in your ascension journeys thus far. What you knew of it and what you now understand of it, perhaps. How it's affected you, how it's playing out. Let's see where we go with the concept of colour.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's quite interesting because I did name my business Rainbow Sutra, which has all the colors and all the light frequencies. And I have a tendency to do things without like consciously my brain knowing exactly the purpose or reason. And so I've come to an understanding with following and doing Megan's Modern Mystic Zooms every Monday and doing the 7 lights. And with that, it's brought each frequency in a kind of each color and frequency in a separate container to actually feel it, know it, and be it as one kind of thing, and to experience the frequency of, say, like green, which is peace, which is really important to me and others as well, but to actually have that guidance to like attune to it specifically in that sense, so then I can feel, instead of having the overall rainbow aspect of everything, it's like, yeah, this one's peace, this is wisdom, this is, all of those, to feel and know it in one instance, and to be able to experience that in my physical body as well, and then see how that kind of comes out in life. So
yeah, the mental sort of play around it all as to understanding it. But so to sort of backtrack for those that don't know, 2000 and perhaps 17, 18, I started being shown particular energies. To start with, I was just asked to sit in with them. And this was over a period of months, if not a couple of years, over understanding what they felt like. And so I would listen in on them and I'd get this kind of, oh, that sounds tinkly. Even though I may not hear the tinkle, it was the impression of it. Oh, it sounds tinkly to me. Or this sounds more clunk, clunk, clunk and beating. And the other one would be that I would get the sense of the color, and it would be, oh, it's green, but it wasn't one green, it was all greens. It was, which meant that I didn't see or feel all the greens, but I knew it as a whole spectrum. And over time, I then became, oh, okay, the feeling I've been getting from being the instanding of this energy is to understand it as an overarching spectrum, that rainbow, of peace and how it plays out. So these energies, from my understanding now in 2025, is to understand that these energies started locking in. These are new earth energies, what a lot of people call the rainbow bridge, and it was coming in a more individualized way for all of us to feel and to heal, and also to reveal what we are capable of through these energies. So there is, in my spectrum of the 7 and 8 intelligences or light spectrums that have been showing themselves and that we've been working with in the last 2 years in the Mystic membership, Megan Catherin Enlightenment in Patreon, we have been playing with it and going, okay, let's feel those energies. And eventually we're becoming to realize that we radiate those energies, and each of us are individualized. Like color, as an interior designer and color consultant, I could never tell you how many colors there were. I mean, in one of the paint folders, there was over 4,000 color swatches, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. So there is an infinite color field that we don't see all of or express or feel. But as we're moving to 5D, New Earth, we are becoming it more and more. That was the reason for all of us as the rainbow children and the rainbow world, let's say. And so why so many people relate to that. And my understanding now is that this new earth has appeared. We're in the split right now between a 3D world and a 5D world, and how people are having to choose which one they wish to be more in and what they can accommodate themselves with. There is this spiral of rainbow energy building around the earth now, and it is definitely speeding up. It is definitely doing a lot to change what we are and who we are. And we're radiating that because ultimately it is us. We are that light, right? Yes. So, and we have our own individual unique way of expressing, combinational. So we are this kaleidoscope, and we don't necessarily stay the same. We're playing the field of color, meaning the field of frequency, which includes sound in it, and light glyphs and codes and all sorts of things that are an expression of life and communication and consciousness. So I guess, yeah, going back to, for those that don't know, there is more on my channel here that you can find about the light colors. But there's red for the overarching they gave me was sovereignty. And most people seem to go, oh, I get that. I feel that in my body when you say red relating to sovereignty. So I seem to have been able to find the right words. Obviously was given them, but I had to come to feel them and go, yeah, this is truth for me. This feels right. So a red, flowing the red, intentionally flowing the red, can assist you with sovereignty. And then over time, you become that sovereign red energy, but it is more combinational and has its own way of expressing what you might call patterns, or I just keep getting this fractal kind of kaleidoscope of beingness, right? How it all comes together to paint the picture of life, to paint physical, right? We are the painters, we are the artists of that. So there is also yellow spectrum of bliss, the purple spectrum of wonder, the brown, interesting brown, people go, oh, is that in the rainbow? Of course it's in the rainbow. There are neutralizing colors where everything actually goes into white or black, and it grays over time. And the mixture and combination, brown itself is in the rainbow, we just can't see it. It's here everywhere, you see brown everywhere, right? So we ourselves are all some version of a brown, okay? So this understanding that brown is wisdom. Hello, that makes so much sense, right? The wisdom of life here as earth, the dirt, the everything that is, our skin itself, we are the wisdoms. And so we have variances of brown goes right down to a creamy sort of color. And then things can change. You sort of go, oh, it's actually more of a yellow and a brown. It might be very tan. Yes, it's got bliss mixed in with the wisdom. All that Spirit have done is to divide it up for us. And we thank the great teams of light that have been doing that to make that available. The other colors are blue, integrity. What have I missed?
Green.
Green is peace.
Brown, red, blue.
Orange is grace. Orange is grace. Yeah. And then they took us on to other color combinations, aliveness, which tends to be the green and the yellow, but it has a pearlescent feel through it. So it actually has some sort of light in it that I can't establish a color name for because we don't have one. There is the metallics in things, there is the elements, there is so much more. So we actually have, we're being presented with more and we're starting to understand it. But to start with those 7 streams, it is the best tool you could ever work with. And I understand that I've been working with it for half my life because I've always been appealed to color as an artist, as an interior designer going into that, and have always seen into color and not recognized it. I didn't realize that I see people's auras, but I don't physically see them, or I don't even psychically see them. Well, I do in the psychic level that I read them. So we're all reading everybody's colors, right? We're reading what they're swathed in, we're reading what they're radiating, we're reading how they are creating. So what else do I want to explain? Oh yeah, so how's color played a role perhaps in your life? Because for me, it's led it quite the thing, right?
Yeah, it's been the undertow for
Yeah.
Well, I was just literally just thinking about that, and I was like, I really used to like black, and I was like, was that an emo phase, or was that actually connecting with the source 0 point kind of frequency without even realizing it. Like I say, I do things without knowing in the brain exactly why I'm doing things. So I was just contemplating what that actually was in that sense of liking black so much. But then it's also have really resonated with the color purple. So that was like my favorite color all growing up. And then to find out that purple is wonder. And it's very interesting because I'm not someone that has outward questions very often, but I question everything in life on a more metaphysical level internally. So, like why does the telephone work, and those sorts of things that, when you learn about technology when you're younger, and the internet came in our generation and things like that. I used to very much wonder in that like magical sense of how these things came to pass, and wondered what else was possible and how like could do things differently, but not consciously knowing exactly what that was, or how me, just a little, teenager and whatnot, could actually bring any change forth. But I just used to be so curious about what else was possible and things like that. So, and then
So do you think you as a child really identified a lot with color in terms of how you visualized it and how you interacted with it, or was it just something in the background that you did you have a sort of relationship with it? It might have been a more internal one that, as you said, you tended to go to black as an older.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like when you're talking about your granddaughter and painting, and how when I remember I used to love finger painting, and that mixing of the colors as well to try and see what would come to pass. And then you'd always get brown, you'd always, everything would end up being brown in the end, which is the wisdom, surprisingly. So it's quite interesting when you think about it now, with the wisdom and awareness that we have now, that the brown is the wisdom and we are the wisdom, and wisdom is everywhere. So it's like trying to like look at things in a different light, and then always coming back to the wisdom. If I think back about it now, I would be like, yeah, that's a bit of a kind of direction to like, you have wisdom within, and what is to know within, but we're always searching. For me, I was always searching outside for guidance and information and everything like that. So it's like always I've been guided to go back in, but always I keep searching outside. So even still to this day, still my ingrained pattern that we have. So hence why doing with the modern mystic, we do the practices, and then it's like it's teaching me to go back within to find what is actually in there, but in a supportive environment, because there's obviously something in me that there's a disconnect or an unsafe feeling that doesn't want to go there alone. So it's like to have that companion along the way. It's like feels safe to go there. And then in discovering, like the colors and things that are important to me on an energetic frequency, it's like green is, which is peace, which is hugely important, which is like my inner natural state of being. When you drop down below everything else, discover that what's there, oh, peace is there. And in my external world, I've always been searching for peace externally, because I have that inside me. And so it's like, yeah, if I stop looking outward and start looking and in tuning in, becoming in tune with my inner world, then that peace and that green will radiate outside of me. So,
and to begin with, that piece or whatever color we're taking in is operating to help us recognize what is not peace, what is not our wonder, not our wisdom, not our sovereignty, not our integrity, not our bliss, not our grace, right? So it is there to help heal and clear. And over time, you become the grace you are, the type of grace that you operate from. And so it'd be interesting if I could see the actual fractals and what do you call them, mandalas, and perhaps even, and the glyphs and things coming off us in a color formation, because that is all the information being read out as to what we are and how we're creating and what we're attracting and who or what we're designing life with, the reality of it all. Because there is that, having worked in color consultancy, there is that idea of here's the color and how we see it and perceive it. But then when you put it into paint, a physical molecular structure and or any object, how the molecular absorbs that light. And what happens is it will allow certain lights through it and then it will bounce off a light. So if something's green, it's bouncing green back at us. And so it's interesting that those items become attractive to us based on what we are currently going through or what we need, perhaps just what we are. You know, it's interesting to see how it would work. But when it's light itself passes through everything. And so light, when they talk it in science, they talk about light as a different sort of way of how it works to what happens with the solid sort of creation of color. And so I think we are lightening ourselves up to be more of this light, and everything is lightening up with us into that higher frequency. So it's going to be interesting to see how we are making with color. What other colors are going to come on board, how bright or how much more of the spectrum, perhaps parts of the spectrum we haven't played in before that are very high vibe, and we will start to learn to utilize those as part of our magic makings, right? The mystic power that is coming back on board because we are tuning into light, and of course light has its color formations. Jumping backwards a little bit, when I started all of this, I started with a pendulum. Was taught how to use a pendulum and was trying to work out what my body wanted, what my spirit wanted, what was what, trying to figure it all out. And I then, 2012, we decided to do a new studio, and that art studio, I wanted a table in. I knew I was going to do some spiritual stuff and arty stuff and have people over. I wanted a table. And then when I actually was pendling for colours and basically was at a fabric shop looking at the wholesales quietly in the corner pendulum, because I'm a weirdo, right? Don't let anyone see, to see which ones were the right ones. I was literally coming up with all these odd sods, but I thought I'm going to trust this, and I wrote them all down, and the fabric samples arrived in the mail, and I just went, what the hell is this? This is a dog's breakfast. I could not understand what I was supposed to be doing with the whole color scheme, the paint and the walls, what it was going to be, the fabric on the chairs, my couch I had, the cushions to go on the couch. They were all just different, and it was like, what is happening? Took it to my friend who was the spiritual one and well versed in things, and she just went, oh, Megan, these are the colors of the chakras, the rainbow. And I was like, what are chakras? Like, I really didn't even fully understand any of this yet. I was so new and raw into it all. But once I understood that, it was so interesting to watch once I had established this table with these different colored chairs around it, where people would come into my studio to do something, an activity or whatever we were doing, and they would gravitate towards a chair. And then we would do this emotional thing or find out deeper what's going on. And it would be so interesting to see that what they needed most was peace. What they needed most was sovereignty. Yeah. And then I sometimes have people coming in and you could see they were a bit thrown by these colored chairs, like, oh, I don't know which chair to sit at. It's not the same as everybody else's chair, and I'd say, oh, just pick a chair, whichever one you want, to the point when I was running soul support classes and gathering circles, people would be getting in earlier and earlier. And I'd be like, you're early. Oh, yeah, I want my colored chair. Particular color chair. And it was so interesting because it was that my outer world is reflecting my inner world. And I need to really intentionally connect to it. So interestingly too, as time went on, I became more and more, I would literally run, there's a past the pendulum time by this time, could feel my own body, run my hand across my clothing, and it would stop, and I'd be like, okay, we're wearing yellow today, or we're wearing green, or we're wearing this pattern, or whatever it is. I didn't really go, what do I want to wear? I started saying to spirit, what do you want me to wear? That kind of thing. And it would sometimes be supporting me, and then other times it'd be supporting people I was meeting. And the amount of times too that, and it's happened to you and I
Yes.
so many times, the amount of times I've turned up in something and gone, oh my God, same, we're in the
We're
same
in the
color.
same. Yeah.
Whatever healing we're doing today, this is the supporting color. This is what needs to be felt. And yeah, interesting, right? Just how's color played in your spiritual intentions and stuff? Have you used it much or not so much?
Yeah, well, doing the mystic work, I focus on those colors and the energies and frequencies of those colors quite often. And I mean, the business name came to me like when I was thinking of many years ago. I couldn't tell you what year. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
But it was Rainbow Sutra, and it was like, what does that mean? Kind of like for me, it was like, oh, it's the light that weaves us together.
The sutra is weaving, isn't it?
Yeah. And rainbow was about the light. So the light that weaves us together was the basic meaning of it. So it was about connection and coming together. And so,
but then you've gone on to become more and more massage oriented and therapy. What's the therapy you're calling it?
Simply profound therapy.
There you go, very deep therapy. Simple to, and that was allowing you to be in the light, to work the light of the weave of these bits. What have you weaved? We're coming aware of what have I weaved? What is my reality I'm weaving? What is my physical body I'm weaving? What is my relationships and emotions? All the stuff being understood more on a frequency basis, and color is a nice way to sort of be able to do that, or easy way to be able to do that, simple way to be able to do that.
And
everybody gets color, right?
Yeah. And that's the other thing as well. Like I found being a very highly sensitive, I can like everything from outside can be quite impactful for my life at times. And so remembering focusing on the colors, and it can be I can focus on the positive aspect of certain things instead of getting caught up in that negative loop. So, might be having a bad day, or like, the traffic's really bad. And this happens to me quite often when I literally stare at the trees and I'm like just absorbing that wisdom from the tree trunks and everything, and like really like honoring the trees, and like, grandmother tree is like, she's so old and ancient. And then there's the green leaves with the peace. And so, there I'm in traffic and everyone's, and I'm feeling people and they're rushing to work and places like that. And then I'm suddenly feeling it. And like, why am I? And then I'll just like, okay, I'll focus on the trees. They're strong, they're stable, they're powerful, they're peaceful, and they're very, very wise. So those sorts of things, like in that external way of living, is how I bring myself back into the internal, and using color in that sense, but not in I'm focusing on green per se. It's like I'm connecting with the frequency of it. Like I say, my brain doesn't do things in the usual way.
And absolutely, I mean, that wasn't necessarily your purpose to go that way. For me, my whole life has been around color. My mum was an artist. We've always had color. My house, look, God, the way she painted our houses, we had to paint the whole house white to actually sell it. Nobody wanted to buy it. We had a hot pink bathroom once, so color has been a huge thing in my life. And I didn't sort of understand that people don't get it in the same way or act with it in the same way. But they do.
In their way. Yeah.
Exactly. But are they conscious of it? Are they interacting deliberately with it? People go into nature and yes, they see flowers with different colors and things, and they deliberately are. So to me, it was shown more individualized on purpose to bring that to the world a little more of an understanding, and to be able to kind of break that down a little bit and feel it more individually. But eventually it becomes these combined consciousnesses, right? And it is all about spirit connection, and because spirit connection is what we are and how we co-collaborate this world, and the frequencies of color come into that. The frequency of light obviously is the basis for it all. The frequency of love is also the basis for it all, and what is beyond that, we're diving in to explore that now. That's what this whole new earth 5D experience is becoming. I don't know what I was going to say. I lost my track then. I had a thought. Went left.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's time to do a little bit of a diving in.
Yeah,
Example
okay.
of
Yeah.
connecting with the color,
Yeah.
or whatever you're guided to do, and however you've got
Yeah.
to do that.
So I want to ask you, because I know crystals have played a huge part in your life, and there's color in the earth, right?
Yeah.
Color in the earth, like it's not all brown. And so if you were to tune in now, what is the color crystal? Because remembering we've got the earth energy, this light has been locking in. It's been locking in through us, but it's been locking into the earth itself, to the rocks, to the waters, to the crystals, etc. There's so many more beings and elements bringing life to us. So we don't have to always tune in it from, oh, I need to have that color clothing, or that item in my house, or paint my house this color. We can tune into it from nature itself, and we can tune into it through our very feet, through our very hearts, to the crystalline beingness that we are, that encompasses the entire universe.
Yeah.
Crystals hold the world together. They hold the universe together. They are part of what holding the universe together, I should say, clarify that. So, but we are becoming that crystalline energy too. So just in healing inwards, I'm asking you to bring forward what crystal wants to come through, and we'll work with that color.
Well, I haven't worn crystals for ages, and as I pulled out my hair tie, this jumped out and I put it on. So amethyst, which is purple, which is wonder, which is wonderful.
Yeah. To feel the wonder of us, to feel the wonder of life, to feel the wonder of your own heart and your own being. Okay, so let's do a little meditative thing. So just closing your eyes and relaxing into your body. It helps to have your feet on the ground for this particular one, unless you're quite finely tuned, to really have that sense of anchoring your feet to the crystalline experience within earth itself. So amethyst is a very plentiful, my understanding, am I correct? No idea, but it's just what they're telling me, very plentiful experience of life in the earth. So there is a lot of amethyst crystal available to us. It doesn't matter that they're in geodes or any of that sort of thing. In fact, the geodes make it even more powerful. So let's just tune in to the wonder of you. So I want you to imagine that the purple is just sitting around your feet right now. It's been rising up around your legs. You're working this beautiful purple. It's rising gently with you, and you're allowing yourself to feel it. As imagine you're soaking in purple like a bath. You've just stepped into it. It can be all forms of purple. It doesn't have to be one particular purple. It can be very pearlescent and iridescent. It can be very strong and dark. It can be soft and light, slightly reddy, slightly blue. It doesn't matter. Just feeling that around your feet, around your calves, moving up around your knees. And now you're sitting on your bottom, and your legs, your thighs are now sitting on an entire beautiful crystal purple wonder. The light is shining through from the central sun, comes through the earth's core, and shines through the crystal you are sitting on, that beautiful purple amethyst. And feeling that energy move up your spine. There's a glow coming off the crystal as you're fully in that glow. It's up around your back, around your body. It's up around your shoulders. It's over your face. If someone was standing before you, they would see you in this beautiful, glowing purple energy. You would be aglow with purple. You can feel it inside your body. This gentle hum, very gentle, soft, pure. Just letting your body vibrate with that beautiful purple energy. Knowing you are the wonder of life. And all around you is further wonder. Everything is wondrous. Awe, so awesome, so amazing. You can sense that beauty all around you. And now you're sensing that beauty in your own skin, your own flesh, that vibration of beauty and wonder. You're a hum, feeling it in your mouth, in your nose, and letting it just flow out again. Feeling it in your pineal gland, crown, back of your head, back of your neck, down closer to between your shoulders, all these nodes just switching on and allowing the wonder to flow. As it's coming into you, it's going out. You're letting it go wherever it wants to go. It is innate intelligence. It knows exactly where someone has lost their wonder, where something is so wondrous and needs to be empowered even more so that it can reach the hearts of those who are closed off to their wonder. You are letting this innate intelligence work through you. You are part of the world of wonder. And this is your right to be. You came here to flow these rainbow energies. And the wonder that you are is what you are showing everyone else, that they too are pure wonder. God loves them, Source loves them, life loves them, and the light is expanding, remembering you too are love. Just sitting in this wonderful glow, taking a nice deep breath, just relaxing and receiving. Relax the body and allow. Taking a nice deep breath once more. This wonder is not leaving you. It is with you. It is you. You're just remembering and allowing and letting it ignite your body again. So you're just coming back to your space, back to the field you're sitting in now. You bring this truth of wonder with you. And there is an excitement that you are reconnecting. Thank you to the light of wonder and amethyst and all that contributed. You, thank you. Thank you for coming on the modern mystic conversation.
Always fun.
Yeah. And you had fun doing whatever you were doing. I didn't realise you were doing it till I opened my eyes at the end.
Yes, yes, I did.
Playing with the high vibrancy and helping to bring that forward. Love it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hope this is helpful to you. Explore more with colour intentionally because it is waiting for you to connect. Bye.